Hello, everybody, and welcome to this. And this is our quick thoughts on the WWA May show that just went out, and then we'll do predictions for their next pay-per-view event, which is Art of War. So, let's just take it around the room here. JJ, what were your thoughts on this build-up show overall?
Very nice. I liked the Hogan situation as far as going through the gauntlet. I thought the match with him and Balor was well done. I liked reintroducing Kane and Abyss as the tag team. I think that's a good way to go with that. And Nash and Hurricane as tag champs. That's random. That's out there, but it's one of the better wrestling tropes I like as far as unlikely partners getting together. So overall, I thought that was the positive stuff coming out of this show.
What were the negatives?
Take any and all criticism.
Oh, criticisms. No, I the only criticism I would say is I think maybe that Iron Man match should have been on the pay-per-view. That would be my biggest thing. Is I think that should have been the pay-per-view, and then you could do whatever afterwards, because I think the pay-per-view match is kind of cold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that Iron Man match definitely was cold.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. So I don't particularly like the whole I don't want these tag belts, and then in more smoothly Andrade, we're not doing the Luke 7 ad, but Andrade doesn't want the TV title anyway, so screw the TV title. He doesn't even want this piece of shit. He wants the world title. Like, I understand the world title's big, but it's like 2 of your belts have been buried. Also, it kind of adds on to the whole thing of Drew and Sheamus.
The Andrade thing, I get, because at least that's, for all intents and purposes, basically your Money in the Bank.
So yeah, but they also tossed out the rules of the whole thing, which is like part of the Ric Flair storyline, which is fine. But my thing is just like Drew and Sheamus were the tag champions. They looked really good. They were great tag champions. So you took it off them for no reason, like just for Hogan to vacate them. It just seems like really short-sighted. It does feel like if this was
the real world, like a lot of fans would be like, "Wow, you just
yeah, like why, like screwing over Drew and Sheamus and like what they were doing just to kind of put it onto this random team. It like means nothing. Like, he didn't even end up on the freaking Blade Runners. Do you know what I mean? Like, So it just feels like a complete burial of the tag division just to get Hogan over, and it's not even for a pay-per-view match. Like, half of this show is about the build-up of Hogan versus Balor, and that's not the match you're doing on the pay-per-view. Like, you completely pivot into this completely other story when it was all about Hogan and Balor, and that to me is like, if you're building up this big match with, the Fortunate Sons show is now kind of a throwaway because it's all build up to a TV match. And then now, after you've done the TV match, now you're going into a different match, which is it's an interesting thing with the whole faction versus faction. Flair not being happy with him, and they've got to get in line, all that kind of stuff. Like, it's an interesting story. I just feel like the focus was all on Hogan and Balor, and now it's all for nothing. And like half this build was to build to something on this show and not on the pay-per-view. So it kind of feels like the story you were telling has just kind of been wasted on TV, in a very sort of WCW way.
It kind of feels like
that's what we don't want to
sort of. It kind of feels like if this was the real world, right? Like in this world's universe, in this world's kayfabe, so to speak, that like somebody got hurt and you had to scramble for a match.
Yeah. It's like when Goldberg won the title on Hogan on Nitro, and then Goldberg defended the belt against random number 12 on the pay-per-view. It's like, well, why am I buying the pay-per-view if it's not the storyline that I'm invested in? So that and the whole thing involving Hogan, the tag thing, like it was a better than what originally was planned. It just was and I know it's obviously what we suggested to make it the best version in behind the scenes. I just feel like it still ended up being a little messy and kind of buried the tag division in the process.
I think it would have been nice to see Hogan with the random partners throughout the month. I think that's
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to
He did say-
armchair
Hogan said-
quarterback, and I don't want to armchair quarterback.
Especially
and
now he's not
go
going for the world title. Like, if he was going for the world title, he was going to win the world title, I understand it. But now Hogan, now he could have had a storyline with the tag team titles, and now he's not even got that. So he hasn't got that or the world title.
I think Hogan, like, training somebody, you know, on the young side and, you know, doing that kind of thing. Maybe
You could have had somebody do like the Jay Lethal,
Yeah.
Pete Williams thing, where like he becomes like mini Hulkster or something, you know. Just something fun could have come out of it is all. And like I say, the TV title thing, I understand the story of Ric Flair doing it, but it just kind of makes the TV title feel a little lesser for being like, oh, well, it's, you know, which I understand it in terms of the Ric Flair thing.
I like that whole angle. I just, you know, like I said, maybe we're beating a dead horse. I just think maybe that should have been after the pay-per-view, and then Hogan and Balor should have been on the actual built paper.
But you know, we'll see where you go with this.
But I like the Kane and Abyss as a tag team. I like where the tag team division is going.
Well, my only complaint with the whole Kane thing is he seems to be in about 5 different feuds. Like, he got beat by Karrion Kross, forgot about him, and then went feuding with Brock Lesnar and Braun. Then Braun beats him, and now he's forgot about Braun. He's gone back to Karrion Kross. It's like, okay, which feud am I supposed to be focusing on? Kane seems to be in about 5 different feuds at once.
And now he's mad at Diesel.
Yeah, like he's not in one feud. He's in about 5 different feuds, and he just keeps to be going back and forth with no real rhyme or reason. It's just a bit messy, and not very focused.
We will cut down that because the storyline here we got Kane and Abyss, as you heard from those.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me.
That is
Remember what I
basically-
told y'all.
Looking, yeah. The only thing is, now Kane has like been on an absolute, you know, wondrous loss at this point.
Right,
He
and
needs
I
something
think-
to rebound, and this is
I think
possibly the
this is-
first thing
I
he's
think-
going to do.
I think this is a chance for him to kind of find some focus, so to speak, and either go after the tag titles if they win them, or what have you, you know. And I think this is a chance. to
He's
kinda
basically
center him a
in
little
Kane's
bit.
mind. In Kane's mind, according to what we're doing here, he is systematically taking out Fortune one by one. That's what it seems.
Yeah, I
to
know.
be,
It
'cause
just
he
seems
took
like,
out Lesnar.
but he seems to have like this thing where he's like, oh yeah, Karrion Kross. What about Braun Strowman? Never mind. And what about Braun Lesnar? He checks out the ring. Oh, he's been thrown off now. It's like it just seems like we're just a bit scattershot.
He will
like,
go back for Braun though.
Like there's no real
Yeah,
there's
he's
no
gonna
real focus to the story, you know.
No, but at the moment, Kane's focused on remotivation,
Okay.
then he can get back to what he's got to do at this point. His fire's kind of lagged a bit, and this is only the start of it reigniting. Again, I will admit, the promo I did as Paul Bearer, I had a lot of fun doing it, and I felt like
No, I thought
that's
that
one of
was.
the
I
best
thought
I've
him
done
and
in a long
Abyss coming
time.
out and being united. I thought that was, you know, really well
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it was good.
And,
It was a good show overall. I enjoyed all the stuff with Hogan. I just wish it built to the pay per view instead of a TV match. Tom, what about your thoughts on this build up?
A lot of it sort of worked in the obviously you've got tag team champions now. Yeah, it's a bit of a random team, but you gave them a couple of promos, so they seem like they're going to be a tag team for the foreseeable. I don't see them losing the titles quickly, so but it really does feel like you've for the point of getting Hogan over, you've crapped all over the tag team division. You've sort of you've got, because you've tried to get you've had a go at getting Hogan over, and in doing so you had the Celtic Connection beat everybody in the tag division a couple of months ago. You then had Hogan win the tag titles. You then tell us about some fantastic sounding matches where he had assorted tag team partners, which, as the guys have already said, would have been nice to see, or would have been nice to have known who it was and the circumstances around it. Then Hogan comes out and cuts a promo where he essentially says, I don't want to be the tag team champions, so I'm not anymore. And whether he puts them down, drops them down, throws them like the first pitch at Yankee Stadium. It doesn't matter. Either way, Hogan has decided he no longer wants to be the tag team champions. So that is him saying, "I'm above the tag titles." That's how it comes across to me. Whether that was your intent or not doesn't matter. That is how it came across to me watching. So then you get you have your tag title. You get your tag titles onto someone. It's a bit of a put together team, but as I say, I think every tag team's got to be put together at some point. The Revival were put together randomly initially, and they have ended up being one of the best tag teams in the world. So, in a year's time, when Nash and Hurricane are still the tag team champions, I'm going to look like a twat, ain't I? But for now, they're a thrown together tag team. Then you've got, as Carl already said, Kane's feuding with everyone.
Just about everybody.
That's all well and good, but I think you could space it out. He could feud with one person and then feud with another person. Rather than having little fights with everybody who don't seem to be aligned at all. Then you have Hogan tear through fortune, so you're thinking, okay, great, Hogan's, this is going to pay off with Hogan winning the title, because Flair doesn't like Hogan. And then you've got the main event, which was a fantastic match. But I'll be honest with you, I hate the way the games do Iron Man matches, and I know that's not your fault, and I'm not saying it is. But I hate the way the game does Iron Man matches, because have we ever seen a 7-6 Iron Man match in the real world of wrestling?
Nope.
Not to my knowledge.
Like Brett versus Shawn was 0-0.
Right.
But he became 1-0 in the overtime.
Yeah. Rock versus Triple H was 4-4 or 5-5, I think.
It was 5-6 after that when Triple H won with the final decision when Taker interfered. So
it was close.
It was very close.
That one was poorly booked, but that's not you booking that. That's Vince McMahon booking.
I prefer that to the Brett and Shawn one. Brett and Shawn one, no decisions, is boring as fuck.
I don't know.
What about the one?
Oh no! Me and Tom were talking about this last night. Oh no!
Yeah,
we were about to argue about this.
Yeah, you and I disagree. You and I disagree on the storytelling in that, but I'm not going to do that here. But then you've got an Iron Man match where we can't see the clock, which
because the stupid cameraman messed up.
Yeah, but it plays into story. It plays into storyline a little bit that Ric Flair is playing keep away with the clock. But
keep away.
But I do think the Iron Man match should have been in full on the pay-per-view, personally.
You never it might happen again. You never know. And
then I mean, how many title defenses has Andrade had? I know Ric Flair's thrown the
by storyline wise, he's had at least 4.
That's right. I can confirm it. Yeah,
at least that is like Flair throwing his weight around. That I'm not gonna. I
like.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. But I almost feel like what would have been the better way to do it is main event this show with Hogan winning that battle with Hogan winning that gauntlet, and then on the pay-per-view you do Hogan versus Balor. You either do a draw or Hogan wins it, and then you have Flair come out and throw the Lucky Seven down the toilet and say Andrade is entitled to a title match, and he's entitled to a title match immediately. I feel like that would have been better, because then you've got the same presumably result, we'll get on to predictions later, I imagine. You've got presumably the same result, but Hogan actually gets dicked over because I think Hogan looks terrible coming out of that.
That's what.
Hogan's being screwed, and he's not even going to get a chance to do anything about it.
At this point, he just kind of looks like he might be lost in the shuffle. Yeah.
Unless Hogan runs in during the title match, and screws everybody over, it feels like he's moved on. If Hogan's just in a mid-card match or in a battle royal at the pay-per-view, then it's all for nothing in my eyes.
Well, and speaking of which, guys, I know we may have jumped over this.
The way that we're doing this right now, is that this pretty much writes off Hulk Hogan for the foreseeable future.
That's the idea,
Nothing happened to him.
I get that. I just think
that storyline he's done like
he's
dealing with. Well, that's what's going on. He's dealing with injuries. I'll do something in the in-universe thing or whatnot.
I kind of feel like if you were gonna put him out with an injury, you should have had him rush him at the end of the match.
Well, you saw the
instead of doing Ric Flair Montreal, just have Fortune rush the ring.
Also, just to let you guys know, I don't know if you guys missed out of it, but we also have now 6-man tag champions crown for the first time.
I wanted to
Brooks
say
and Omega against the New Day. What I'm gonna have JJ. Do you want to tell me your thoughts about that?
That's another case of I hate to say like put everything on the pay-per-view, but that's another case of I think that should have been on the pay-per-view because that's a pretty big time match, like the former Elite and the New Day, and I just wonder.
we would have done that, but somebody wasn't so sure about having 6-person titles.
I see. And
we thought we were going to do this.
Oh my god! It took so long to finally convince a certain someone to agree to that.
Look, I was happy about having the 6-man titles, but I felt like we were ripping off, a certain other guy in doing it. That's why I was hesitant.
Well, consider me a critic because I was a critic when Carl did it too. I just wonder how many 6-person, 3-man teams you have at the moment. That's all. That's.
When the draft
the same criticism I had when Carl introduced him. I said, I don't know, I don't know if this is too many titles. So I have to say the same thing here. I just don't know. If maybe that's a little too many.
But the one thing I can say,
I hope I'm wrong.
I think Bradley can back me up when I say this. At least we've got a storyline going here. We've got like the New Day and Omega.
I think that's.
That's the whole name of it.
I'm all for more New Day. I'm all for more Elite. I just wonder if the belt is not going to be just traded back and forth because those are the only two teams.
You'll see what will happen because at the Art of War, things are going to be quite
like Tom said. Maybe a year from now, I look like a jackass for saying that because you have so many teams and it's your best division, right? So
I wouldn't say that. Well, we'll see what happens when we get to the pay-per-view of the Art of War, which I know you guys are anticipating because. I like to say the deck is stacked, but let's just say the card is super stacked, and I had a lot of fun putting this together.
Well, let's do the predictions then, shall we?
Let's see.
Shall we get down? Let's get into it. Shall we take it in turns? Bradley, shall we take this in turns? You go first.
All right. So the first matchup that we're going to have is a triple threat match for the Women's Commonwealth title. It's going to be Brooke Hogan defending against Ember Moon and Sky Blue.
Okay.
Thoughts and predictions, guys.
I'm gonna say Brooke Hogan retains because you've got the as trolly as it is and as ridiculous as it is, you've got the troll thing going on with Brooke Hogan at the minute, and I don't think as much as Emma Moon was on top of the world at the start of this whole thing at the start of season 1, I don't think either of those women are the people to bring the Brooke Hogan troll title reign to an end.
It's not. Oh, okay. And you, Tom? You're too busy. You're too busy typing in the chat.
No, just I think it's not time for Brooke Hogan to lose the belt yet. She's only had it a short period. She hasn't really had a proper feud yet. We haven't even heard from her yet. She's won the titles and she said nothing about it. I know.
You'd be surprised how hard it is to try to find someone that has the right type of accent.
Working on that for you. Just follow that.
We need to find someone to get a voice.
Working on that for you, but watch this space. But yeah. So I think Brooke wins it because it's not time for her to lose it yet, and I know full well how difficult it is to find female voice actors. That's been the bane of my existence since the NWA has been in existence. So,
JJ, you're next.
Yeah, I think I know what the end game for this Brooke Hogan thing is, and it's not time for it just yet. So I think Brooke Hogan retains.
All right then. So match number 2. Well, this is also going to be for Brooke's title, but this is actually a number 1 contendership match. It's going to be Tamina against a returning Viper who we have not seen. And who do you think out of those two is going to be the contendership for Brooke Hogan's Commonwealth title? I'm going to start with you, JJ, on this one.
You said it was... Sorry, I missed that last part.
It's a Tamina and Viper.
You know what? I think you were really pushing like that Tamina was the MVP of the Rumble or the Battle Royal a few months back. I think you're giving her a push. I'm gonna give it to Tamina.
Okay then.
All right.
Tom, you're next. Who do you think out of the two, Viper or Tamina?
I think you put. I feel like you put. I feel, as JJ says, I feel like you're pushing. Tamina. I mean, but you know, I'll be the contrarian. Let's have a Viper win. She's so lovely.
All right.
Oh, you, Tom, being big and cuddly.
So I take it this will probably be like this will probably be a pre-show match or something. But
yeah, they are. Yeah, there's plenty of pre-matches.
So I think
the Tamina and Viper match is the pre-show match, and the Brooke Hogan match opens up the show.
Okay, well, I think Viper's got this storyline going on where Charlotte's ducking her. But so the weird thing is, like, she's already on a thing with a world title, so I kind of want to say Tamina, but at the same time, I don't think Viper needs the loss, given that she's trying to build up against Charlotte. So probably Tamina by some sort of count out or DQ.
Okay then.
All right.
And okay then. At least we know what's on the pre-show. At least we got that bit sorted there.
I mean, I know my mistakes of trying to apply logic storyline-wise to the WWA, which sometimes is a futile attempt, but...
All right. So then match number 3 is the masked duo of Kane and Abyss against the surprisingly new tag team champions, which I want to call them the Justice League, but that's going to, of course, be ripping off on DC. So right now it's just Hurrahs.
I think you can safely call. I think you can safely call them the Justice League. I have a blue version of Kane. I think we're okay.
Yeah, that's true. Copyrights aren't that much of a problem, but
So for predictions, Carl, I'm letting you go first with this one.
See, here's the thing. Kane Abyss makes sense, but Kane has got 3 different singles feuds going on right now, so I don't think he needs to get sidetracked with the tag titles, because I don't know who, unless, Killer Cross is going to team up with Braun Strowman and that'll be a tag team against Kane and Abyss. That would be a way to segue the feud that way. So maybe he could do that, have Braun and Cross team up, kind of have, Brother Love team up with Fortune sort of thing. That could make sense, but I think that one of his opponents, probably Strowman, costs Kane and Abyss the match, and Diesel and Hurricane retain.
JJ, you're next. What do you think? How do you predict the match outcome?
I think the tag division needs kind of a hard reset, so to speak. Give me Kane and Abyss. I think they're going to win the championships. I think they're going to at least... Okay, let me just say, if I was booking, this is what I would do. I think Kane and Abyss win. I think they hold the championships for a while. I think they're your new dominant team that when they finally lose the belt, it's a big shocking moment.
And Tom, your thoughts? What do you think?
Very conflicted because I just spent
conflicted, eh?
Very conflicted because I just spent 10 minutes saying I hope Hurricane and Nash hold the titles for a year, and then and now you tell me you're sticking Kane on them. I mean, come on, we know Kane always wins, apart from since Bradley's been booking. So
yes, he has been.
I honestly find it hard to call, genuinely, because it feels a bit short-sighted to do all this work building the Justice League, because that's what I'm going to call them, the Justice League as a new tag team, only to have them drop the belts immediately. But then this is WWA booking.
Oh Lord.
I'm winding you up.
Yes, you are. You are.
Honestly,
I can tell you taking the Mickey, Tom.
Honestly, it's a toss up. I almost want to flip a coin. So I'll say the Hurricane and Nash hold on to the titles because of some sort of bullshit, some sort of dirty finish, because Kane's feuding with everyone, and when you've got 100,000 enemies, one of them is going to come and kick you in the balls. We just don't know which one.
Oh, just in bed. No. Okay, Bradley, we might have to shuffle a card around here afterwards, but because of what will happen after, I feel like we'll swap these two other matches around. So is it okay if we put his title match up into match 4 instead of match 5? Because I was thinking we need to do a little reshuffle.
Doesn't matter what order it's going to be on the show. I'm going to do mine out of order. So
yeah. So let's just
talk all right with you, Bradley?
Yeah, let's just talk about the matches that we got right now, and then we'll make changes if we need to.
Okie dokie then. So on match 4, we'll start when we do it live. The WWA World's Title match, and Lado is Finn Balor, and oh my goodness, it's going to be match of the night. But the outcome, we can only see how it unfolds. So I know this is going to be a stretch, but Tom, I'm putting you first on this one for a change.
Sorry,
give us your thoughts.
What match are we on? Sorry, I spaced out for a second there.
Finn Balor versus Al Andrade for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Right, world title, Finn Balor versus Andrade. I mean, Ric Flair's being a dick, isn't he? So Andrade's bound to win this. I mean, Balor's the biggest babyface in the world, apart from the fact that he overlooked what Flair was doing. He needs to address that at some point. No, I think I think it makes absolute sense that Ric Flair would, because I'm thinking of it from the perspective of Ric Flair's going to do whatever he has to do to make Andrade the champion, because he'd like his daughter's husband to be the champion. So yeah, Andrade's winning this, but if it's a clean win, I'll be very, very surprised.
It could happen. Anything can happen in the WWA. That's what I mean.
We've learned that.
Yeah, well, regarding the world title I'm referring to, that's the big anything can happen. So, JJ, give us your thoughts. What do you think for your anticipation for this championship match?
I think Finn Balor's been on a roll. He's been one of your top guys since day one. I don't think that changes. I think he retains the championship.
Okie dokie then. And wow, that's actually quite surprising how you said that.
Difficult.
Carl, your thoughts.
Difficult to do a prediction because I know what's going to happen. Kind of the problem with being behind the scenes and helping you, but like, you know, putting out of my mind what I know, what I think is that the story with Taker being taken out and all that is building to Taker coming back and taking the belt off of Balor. In some way, shape, or form. So I don't think it makes sense to change lanes to somebody else. So I'm going to say Balor.
Oh, so
Interesting.
well, it's very intriguing. That is, Bradley. I'll let you
Alright.
take this one.
Alright.
Match number 5.
So match number 5 is going to be the next opponent for Charlotte Flair. She is defending against Casey Catanzaro. Or Katana Chance.
And
or what?
Carl, you go first with this one. Carl, I'm putting you first on this one.
I'm gonna say Charlotte retains. She's the one you're building up. She's the one you're staying on. I don't see that changing, at least not yet.
JJ?
Yeah, I got to agree. Charlotte has been on this pretty long title reign so far, and I kind of, no disrespect to anybody, I just don't see anybody that's been built up to take it off her yet. Not to say that won't happen in the future, but for now, in the current climate, I think Charlotte is going to be the champion for a while.
Okay, and Tom, do you think the outcome?
Think back to a few moments ago when I said that Ric Flair wants all of his people to be champions.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte's going to win it, and I don't think it'll be clean.
Whether she wants to or not.
Yeah.
Right then. Okay then. So.
Match number 6.
Okay, number 6 is the matchup for the vacated TV championship, which was dropped. Okay, we're going to have a new TV champion crowned, and it's going to be a 4-man ladder match.
This is like what, the third or fourth time this belt has been vacated, Vince Russo.
I mean, with the Lucky 7 though, the belt being vacated is a thing, but like
But this isn't Russo style. It's just how it's going. I'm will avoid that. But anyway, it'll be a ladder match for the UK belt. Okay, and it's going to feature the Cowboy James Storm.
It's the exact same match you had for the vacated belt last time with Kenta, isn't it?
Yeah, we did, but it feels appropriate to crown you anyway.
I know, but you like literally did it like 3 months ago. But okay.
Is Kenta in it? Can I predict Kenta?
Nope. No.
Go on.
And of course, Drew Gulak's going to be in there as well.
Okay, so tell us the people I interrupted by saying Gary Petty be booking was. Who's in it?
Yeah, I only
James Storm.
Yeah, but that does not exist.
James Storm, Drew McIntyre, Cedric Alexander, and Drew Gulak.
Oh,
that's just said there, Bradley. So guys, place your down. Who become the new TV champion? JJ, I'm starting with you on this.
Well, the biggest name out of all of those is McIntyre. I think it would be smart to put it on him.
Miss McIntyre.
Okay. Carl.
I thought him and Sheamus had broke up or something. They were feuding. Why is he in this match and Sheamus isn't? I'll go with McIntyre, yeah, but I don't know what's going on with him and Sheamus.
Maybe Sheamus cost in the match.
Yeah, maybe like they were fighting backstage and they were the tag champions, and now all of a sudden he's in this random match for a vacated belt. All right, I'm gonna say sure. I'll say McIntyre.
I kind of feel like McIntyre's the biggest star there. I don't necessarily know that means. I don't necessarily know that means the biggest star has to win, but I think,
especially in these matches where it almost certainly will be simulated by the AI because there's no way to control who wins. But
we saw the Twitter. What may have happened? The Celtic connection may have broken up, but we haven't got any confirmation. But that's what we seem to have happened. That's why.
We saw the social media post that indicated that they feuded. I kind of think both of them should have been in the match, possibly. But
better Sheamus than bloody Gulak, that's for sure.
But then if McIntyre wins, which is going to be my prediction, I'm afraid. If McIntyre does win, then I suppose there's his first feud for the belt, right?
Yeah, his first singles run.
There's his first challenger, I suppose. So maybe that's the way you're going to go with it.
See what happens when we get there into the Art of War. Like I said, this could be the beginning of the end for the connection. But we'll find out something when we get confirmation. That's just as we saw in that post. And well, you know what happens next, Bradley, because we got our main event. Apparently, we got the 30 men that are lined up. The 30 men that are lined up. It's the 30 man Art of War.
Right, so it's a
30 men.
So basically, just is a Royal Rumble. Okay.
Pretty much.
Yeah, 30 men. Only one man can win it. But here's the thing I'm just going to say, just to clear this one up, because it's not just one victory you get. So say if you guys are in the Rumble, just bear with me. Like, say if Carl or JJ or Tom won the match, or if Bradley won the match, you're going to get a number one contendership main event shot at the world title at European Uprising 2, right? But here's the second thing you get. You are declared the year's master of the art of war, quote unquote. And thirdly, and lastly but not least, you get rewarded with the Art of War Rumble trophy. So you get 3 rewards in one night for this one. So it's a little bit, slightly a little upgraded. And that's what will happen. Whoever wins.
So you get a number one contendership, you get a trophy, and you get a what?
You get to be the master.
You are declared that year's master of the art of war. Like it's like a title thing. You know what I mean?
Like King of the Ring.
You get to regenerate from Derek Jacobi.
So you're saying that if like everybody makes a gimmick out of the King of the Ring when they become the king, if everybody wins this match, they get to dress up as the master from Doctor Who or something like.
No. It's just like you're declared the master.
I want Derek Jacobi's drip, baby.
It's kind of like you're declared the master of Barry. It's like what's the word again? Like in that fantasy match I watched.
I personally think Roger Delgado.
They were crowned the king of horror.
Nah, Derek Jacobi.
But it's going to be intriguing, like a maybe. I just wanted to spice up a little bit with it, so it's to make it more different compared to the actual Rumble itself. But that's it. So whoever wins out of that one will go on to the main event. For the World Heavyweight.
Don't tell us who's in it. Let us just pick from the remaining people on the roster.
No, I'm not going to.
I don't want you to run. I don't want you to tell me who's in it. I want to be surprised.
Yeah. So, I given your storyline booking for the last couple of months, I want to say Hogan, but he's now written off for some reason. Undertaker returns and wins it.
Oh, you're predicting a Deadman return, are you? Didn't see that coming, although I should have done. But JJ, your turn, mate.
I was thinking, I guess, a similar vibe. I was kind of feeling I'm gonna have 2 choices. I'm thinking either Sting, or I could see you putting over like a Killer Cross.
Ooh! Wow! You guys can pick more than 3. You know, you guys can have 3 predictions if you want. 3 picks. You can do it that way still if you like, just to make it fun. So JJ's done 2 picks.
Give me Strowman. I think Strowman is my pick. I think Strowman's taking it.
So that's your 3rd pick as well. And what about you, Carl? So you can pick 2 more picks if you want, Carl.
So I'm gonna say Taker. Kane maybe. If he's in the match, I don't know, because he's had a title match earlier on. Or maybe somebody like Ultimate Warrior.
We'll see what happens. There's your 3 picks. What about you, Tom? Do you want to be surprised, or do you want to have 3 picks instead?
I'm gonna pick. I'll make a couple. I'll make a couple of picks, and I'll give reasons for them. I think the Rumble is always, because this is your version of the Rumble, right? I think the Rumble is always better when it elevates someone. I think, so I think someone who's already been the champion, I think, shouldn't really be winning the Rumble, because I feel like once you've already been champion, unless it was a fluke title run, I think you're in that conversation. You're always in that conversation as a potential challenger for the world champion, whoever you are. Like any week, WWE could say, John Cena, you're challenging for the world champion, and nobody's going to go, oh, why is that happening? He's not worthy of a title, because he's had it, he's done it. So I'm going to stay away from main eventers, at least for this pick, and I'm going to say the most pushed man, the man who has got over on his own against everything else. I think the Art of War is won by Tucker Knight.
Wow.
Because
That's
I think that is your big, you know, you've spent a year, you've managed somehow to get the other one from Heavy Machinery over. Right?
Yeah,
So I think the obvious next thing is he wins the Art of War and he goes on to win the championship and hold it for 25 years, Bruno style.
So that's a big
Right? Okay, so
that
that's sort of my silly one, but also a bit serious. Also, this is you booking this, so Kane can't be far from the argument at any point. Plus,
that's your second pick.
Plus, he hasn't been the champion here, so he still fits in with my non-thing. And yeah, go on. Everyone's talking about comebacks, but I won't go with the comeback that everybody's going with. I'll say Keith Lee.
Oh, that's a good counter. We'll see what happens. We never know what's going to happen. The WWA Art of War, like I said.
Kane or Keith Lee for me.
If Bradley was here right now, he'd be laughing his ass off when you heard about Tucker. No, I did not expect that coming, but wow. That's, well, baby, he's a big lad, but he's a big underdog, but he's proven he can, you saw what he did on the build-up, But who knows? See what happens.
So that'll do it for...
everybody will have a random number. We don't know who's numbers 1 and 2. We don't know who's number 30. So this match is going to be full of surprises, and trust me, when I say that, it's going to be. All you have to do, guys, is just to gear up and prepare and survive it, because it's like going into the war trenches in this one. Okay. It's going to be something.
Way to sell your pay-per-view there. It's going to be like surviving a war. Right, so thank you everybody for joining us for this. We realised that we didn't do any predictions for Tom's pay-per-view as well. So
do you want to just
now let's just roll it into one. So we got we'll just save for uploading 3 different things. So
okay,
we didn't do any predictions for Tom since we've reinstated predictions. So Tom, why don't we take us through your card?
Yep, right, okay. So the next NWA show is the Crockett Cup, which is the tag team tournament, and on there we've got Tegan Knox defending the women's championship against Jamie Hayter. That was set up on social media. So, guys, in any order you fancy, who have you got?
I think Tegan Knox retains. She's only just won the thing.
Something is telling me Jamie Hayter. I just get a sense that she's in for a big push.
Something tells me, personally, I think Jamie Hayter is going to come very close, but Tegan Knox is going to absolutely, retain by the skin of her teeth. So I'm going with the title retaining.
According to the poll on the group, 4 votes for Tegan Knox and 2 votes for Jamie Hayter. So the audience are leaning in favour of Tegan Knox. Then you've got the NWA Heritage Championship. The last time we saw NWA, that was won with a kick in the balls by Giant Haystacks over Big Daddy, and is on the line in a one-on-one match between Giant Haystacks and the Russian killing machine Ilya Dragunov. Who you got?
Jesus Christ.
I think the Heritage title is meant for the old feckers, so I think Haystacks retains.
I'm going to disagree. I think Tom's going to go for the youth movement. I think Ilya's got some momentum, at least coming off of the real world. So I think Ilya takes this. Somehow, some way. It seems improbable, but I think he takes it.
Glenn?
I think this is just going to be a typical squash match. As much as I hate to say it, Haystacks is going over. He's just too damn bloody big.
Okay, so according to the poll on the hashtag NWA page on the Discord, it's 3 votes for each of them. So it is a dead heat 50-50 according to according to the audience.
Oh, it's a tie there.
Yep, and we've got the NWA Tag Team Championships. even I'm conflicted on this one. But you've got the Righteous defending against Mustache Mountain. That's Tyler Bate and Trent Seven.
I think the Righteous are the guys you're going with. As much as you like Mustache Mountain, I think the Righteous are your focus point, your tag divisions. I think they retain.
And then we've got the Crockett Cup tournament. Oh, sorry, did you not go, Glenn?
Yeah, there's JJ there too. Do you want to go next?
Sorry.
No, you're good. It's tough because I know you're into both of these teams. I think Righteous just got the belts. I think you still have a lot more meat on that bone. So
I think something tells me in this match you're going to make Tyler Mustache and Mustache Mountain look absolutely
Tyler Mustache.
So that's what they used to chant for Tyler Bate every time they chanted him back in the day when he was in Kamikaze. I remember it.
Tyler's a big, strong boy, but what do you reckon, Glenn? What side are you coming down on?
Look, as much as I'd like to see Mustache Mountain get the job done, I think they're going to look really good in this match. But I think the Righteousness are just that damn dominant. I think Mustache Mountain are going to see the light. So the championships retain.
Okay, the audience poll had 3 votes on it, and every single person said the Righteous. So 3 votes in favour of the Righteous. So I think everybody sees the light. It seems. So we'll do the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. This is a steel cage match and will be conducted, that's the word. Thank you, Glenn. Conducted under 2 out of 3 falls inside a steel cage. And no, the steel cage isn't rusty. I got a new one. We've got some money now.
Well, that's good.
Nick Aldis defends against Dustin Rhodes. Who you got and why?
This is one of your big pay-per-view events. You've been building up Dustin for this. I think Dustin takes the belt off Aldis. I think Dustin finishes his story in this show.
Okay, JJ, what you got?
I also think Dustin finishes his story later. I think Aldis keeps it for now.
Later.
I think we revisit this later on.
Something tells me in this it's going to be a heck of a good match. And I think this will be the closest Nick Aldis will ever get to defeat, but I am so conflicted. I do feel like Nick Aldis will try and pull it off, like he always will, being the dastardly heel that he always has been. But I think Dustin's going to do it. He's going to complete that story, and he'll win it. He'll have his moment with the belt. I think later down the line, I think Nick Aldis will get it back. That's what I'm predicting in the future for this, judging by how this whole storyline is progressing. So Dusty's going to get it. We've seen Dusty win the world title in the cage, so it feels only appropriate for him to do the same. So we're going to have a new heavyweight champion.
Right, well, the next match, I've got 2 questions for you. The next match is the British Heavyweight Championship. It's Blue Cane defending against a world champion quality opponent. He doesn't know who his opponent is, and neither do we. So, your first question, do you want to have a guess at who his opponent is? And second, do you want to predict based on who you think his opponent is?
Oh god, this is going to be tough.
Who you got and why?
Oh my lord!
I'm trying to think of who could be on your roster who would be a credible person to end this. World champion quality opponent.
I'm looking on your roster right now.
This could be world champion quality.
I gotta look too.
Yeah, world.
Damn.
You know what? Vader. I think Vader debuts because Kane and Vader had a thing back in the day. And I think Vader does something that, like, you can't use a hammer in the game, otherwise that would be my prediction. I think Vader gets his revenge on Real Kane by beating Blue Kane for his title here.
Oh, wow.
Okay, JJ?
No, I'm not. And now who's the big fat piece of shit? Bang, Vader bomb.
Yeah. And of course, Vader's black and red as well, so he has Kane's colours in a strange way. And Blue Kane hates red.
I'm looking down your list, and there's a name that's popping out at me. I think we haven't seen Christian yet. I think this is his debut, and he is a piece of shit, low blows Blue Kane, and gets the upset.
Actually, we did see Christian in the tournament finals. In the tournament, actually, JJ,
Well,
but this will be second match.
This is the debut of like piece of shit Christian.
Glenn, who you got?
Oh God.
Who do you think the opponent is first, or you can pass on that and just say you think?
Yeah, Christian's like, oh yeah, Blue Paul Bearer's dead.
No God, don't! If that happens, I am going to legit hate on if he's actually dare go that far. But don't.
I mean, real Paul Bearer would be Blue Paul Bearer because the last time we saw him, he went in a freezer.
Frosty Bearer. Oh God, I'm looking down at your roster right now. Yeah. It could possibly. I mean, there's a former world champion. God, I was thinking you could have Vader and Christian because it's obvious they've held the belt. But I'm thinking, do you think you could bring in perhaps maybe Ken Shamrock of all people to possibly beat Blue Kane because he is a former NWA heavyweight champion.
Yeah, he's a former NWA champion.
Well, I'm thinking perhaps the world's most dangerous man will bring down the big blue machine, and that's just it. I think Ken Shamrock should be going doing the step up.
I'll take a quick pause for the. So you reckon Ken Shamrock, and do you think he beats Blue Kane?
I think he would. I can't see him doing the go for the leg and whatnot, but I can definitely see him perhaps getting in with a victory via pinfall. I can't see Blue Kane. Because who can say Blue Kane ever tapped out? I don't think it's possible. I think you pin for 3 seconds. That's just how it goes.
Well, Bradley's just sent his predictions in, so we'll catch him up to everyone else. He says Tegan Knox. He says Blue Kane defends. He says Ilya Dragunov beats Haystacks. The Righteous retain the tag titles, and Dustin wins the world title. Now, to carry on with everybody else present, we've got the Crockett Cup. There are eight tag teams, or 8 put together tag teams in this match. They are Ken Shamrock and Nick Wayne, Bully Ray and Jay White, Ricky and Kerry Morton, Viscera and Jack Perry, Mark Billington and Colton Gunn, Tommy Billington and Austin Gunn, Brutus Creed and Big Damo, and Simon Miller and Chris Danger.
Jesus Christ, that's a stack load.
Who you got and why?
It's you. You like pushing these are like your top guys for all the wrong reasons. Jack Perry and Viscera.
You seem silent there, Carl. You seem like you were trying not to laugh.
I think Danger and Miller called their shot months ago. I think this is the payoff.
As much as I like to say it, you want to know my prediction and why? Here's why. Simon Miller and Chris Danger going over. I can just see them doing it. It's too predictable. I can see you pulling the trigger on those two.
Bradley agrees with Carl on Viscera and Jack. And the poll on the Discord had 3 votes, 1 for Miller and Danger, 1 for the Mortons, and 1 for Ken Shamrock and Nick Wayne. So,
whoa, that just sounds weird.
and-
Change him like a Nick Wayne.
and it very much feels like it was mostly voice actors voting for the people they voice.
That makes it even better.
So I think that was very much a please put me over. Thank you.
I like how we now have voice actors politicking for their people.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the Crockett Cup. That'll be in late May, early June, dependent on getting the last one or two voices sorted and then doing the edit. This has gone on too long, so that's all I've got. That's all I've got to say. So yeah. Do you want to finish, Carl? Or?
Yeah. Well, join us for those shows very soon, folks, and we'll see you next time.